Hi everyone, my name is Mary and welcome back to Quinn Ink. As you can see in front of me, we actually have section 2 and we are actually going to be sewing these all 4 together. Okay, so go ahead and grab your sections 1, 2, 3, and 4, all 4 parts. So you're going to need thread, a needle. Make sure you have a very long tail so that way you can sew them together. Excuse me, and make sure you also have a pair of scissors. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first one we're going to start with is going to be 2.1, which looks like this. Okay, we have it right here, and 2.2. Now this is the one that has the 3 yellows on it. As you can see right here where we messed up instead of the 4 yellows. But that's okay, it happens. We'll just do it as we can go. So what you're going to do is you're going to pinch at the bottom and you're going to pinch at the top like so, and you're going to turn it, okay? And as you can see, this black piece right here is going to line up perfectly with this black piece and then the yellow pieces. And I would suggest getting a needle or a little pin like this and just pinning this section right here. Okay, so that way you can keep those two nice and flush. Okay, so grab your needle, go to the top, or you can go to the bottom, either one, doesn't matter. And you're just going to find the top of the stitches, so the last stitch on one side and the last stitch on the other side. Put your needle through both of those and pull until you kind of have like a loop like this. Put your needle through that loop and pull, so that way it becomes nice and tight. And if you want to, you can also go back through and put your needle through that hole right there, or that hole right there, and pull again. That way you have a double, and that way it secures it even more. And then all you're going to do is the sewing process. So you're just going to put your needle in, and we're just working on the top. Sharper needles always help because it helps you get through the stitches, so if you want you can have them more tight knit together, or if you don't mind it being a little too loose. Okay, and this is all I'm going to be doing. So I will meet you down here at the very bottom to finish off sewing 2.1 and 2.2. Alrighty, so I made it closer to the bottom, as you can see. Okay, so I'm just going to do a few more stitches. Okay, so we're going to turn it, and you're going to be looking on the top, and you're going to find the 2 last stitches on the top, and just put your needle right through like this. Okay, and then I like to go over like this and back through those stitches so we make that loop we're looking for. I'll put my fingers right through it. Okay. Then I'll put my needle right through that loop, pull this finger out, lay it down as I make a new loop. Okay, there we go, got it. And then we'll pull up, we'll pull down, put my needle through that loop one more time, and we'll start slowly pulling through and tighten it. And then I like to put it right back through one more time. Grab my scissors and cut. And then I'll use this one so that way we can sew 2.2 and 2.3 together. Alright, so let's grab our 2.3, which should be this one with the 4 yellow crochets. Okay, so let me just grab that real quick. Here it is. Okay. And this one is actually going to go back to back with the black yarn. So we're just going to pinch and pinch, and it's all going to be sewn in black yarn. This is where at the point you want to take your pins and you want to pin your black, you want to pin these together so that way they all become flush or straight, so that way you don't have any ends. So when you get to the end, it's not sitting something like this where it's one shorter than the other. So we'll pin this real quick. There we go. And I'm going to pin this piece right here. There we go. And if you're wondering why it's so nice and quiet, I actually turned off my PlayStation. It was too loud. I don't know what's wrong with it. I tried cleaning it and it just still, the fan was very loud. So I figured I would just shut it off for the video since I'm not watching it. So we're going to turn our work towards us and we are going to look for the two last stitches, one here and one here. It's good to have a nice bright light so you can actually see what you're doing and you know exactly where you're putting your needle into. So put your needle right into there, pull it until you make a loop like that one. Put your needle right through, and if you like to do the double like I did, then we'll go actually back through this way and we will make another loop like so. So you can see it, there we go, like so. And just put your needle right through and pull. That way it secures it even more, and that way nothing comes apart. And then all you're going to do is just go in and out and do the sewing process. You can always take your pins out if they get really irritating. And don't forget, you can put your fingers in the middle so you know exactly where you're sewing into, like this. And if you're using a sharp needle, make sure to pull your fingers back a little bit so you have a little bit of room. So when you put your needle through like this, your fingers aren't going to get poked. So that is another way to sew black yarn, is to put your finger into the in between the stitches like this, so that way you know exactly where you are putting your needle into and where you are sewing if you are unable to see the black yarn. Black yarn can be very difficult to see when sewing. Bright lights and your finger are good ways to help you sew your projects without having to worry about, oh, am I in the right stitch? Did my work go like this? So then that way you have a guide, so your fingers can be guides for you. Alright, so I'm going to sew this. Take your time. As I said before, black yarn is very difficult to see. Use your fingers as guides so that way you can sew it. And I will meet you down here at the end, and then we will sew 2.4 to 2.3. Alrighty, so I am back and I'm now down at the end, as you can see right here. So now I have one more stitch I'm going to do and pull it nice and tight. We're going to turn our work to where you can see the last two stitches. Now if you can't see your last two stitches, you can just go right into what you think is a stitch. Okay, so we'll just go right through like this, pull on it. I like to go back around to make that new loop, put my finger right through it like this, put my needle right through that new loop, pull my finger out and put it into the new loop, pull up, pull down, put my needle right through that loop, pull up until I hear that click. Sometimes you don't always hear the click, and then put my needle right back through and we are done. And at this point you can cut your yarn. Alrighty, so I am going to put some new thread on my needle, and I am going to grab 2.4 and we will get started on that. I'll be back shortly. Alrighty, so I am back and I grabbed 2.4, which looks like this, and it looks like we have 4 yellow rows right here, so it works out pretty nicely. So, and don't forget your needle with your long thread on it, as you can see right here. Okay, so let's get started. So you're going to pinch down here at the very bottom, and you're going to pinch right up here at the top and turn your work. I'm going to flip this up like this, and as you can see, it did actually work out pretty nicely. You will have one side a little bit longer than the other. As you can see over here, this one is 3 rows, this one is 4 rows. So I'm really sorry about that. I didn't realize that when I was making the graphs. So we're going to take our pins and we're going to pin this section right here, so that way we know. And then we are going to grab our needle and we're going to turn our work to the top and find the last 2 stitches, or the stitches that you think is the last 2. Okay, we're going to put our needle right through there. Move my fingers out of the way. Pull it until you have a loop like this one. Put your needle right through and pull through that one. We'll do a double knot. So I'll pull this on the other side like this, so that way it loops around and makes a nice loop like, whoa. Sorry about that, it got caught on the desk, so it makes a loop like that. And then we'll put our needle right through this way. And then we can just tighten, and then we can start the sewing process. Okay? And like I said before, in the black section, you can always put your finger in the middle like this. Put your needle right through, so that way you can see where your stitches are going, and tighten and move your finger down as you go. This use your finger as a guide. Oops, I did that one wrong, but that's okay. Nobody will be able to see it. It'll be our little secret. And just go right back through like this. Take your time, go slow. And I will meet you down here at the very end, and we'll finish off the video. Okay, I will be back shortly. Alrighty, so we are back, and I'm down here at the end. I am going to sew one more little stitch right here, and then we're going to turn our work and look for the last 2 stitches right here. We're going to put our needle right through those stitches like this, and then I'm going to go over those stitches and go back through to make that loop. I'm going to put my finger right on top of those stitches so I can make that nice little loop. Then I'm going to put my needle right through that loop, move my finger over this way, and make the new loop. And then I'm going to pull up. Whoop. I'm going to pull up, and then I'm going to pull down. Oh, it looks like I missed that loop. So let me see if I can get it. There we go. Pull up and pull down. Sometimes that happens. And then I'm going to put my needle right through that loop. I'm going to pull nice and tight till I hear that click. And then I'm going to put my needle right through that loop. And then I'm going to grab my scissors. And I'm going to cut my yarn. Excuse me, my thread. Okay, and then I'm going to use this thread to sew other pieces of the Batman blanket for next time. So let me just get this going real quick. Alright, and we are done. Okay, so I'm going to pull my camera out, and you're going to see what it looks like. So there we go. There's section 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is what it looks like. Okay, So as you can see, this section right here is going to be part of the wing where it's going to attach right here. This whole black section is going to be the bat's body, and then this is the other wing section. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like to let me know that you are enjoying this video. And don't forget to subscribe if you would like to see more tutorials such as this one and others that I will do in the future. And until next time, I will see you in the next video. So I hope everyone has a great day. Bye-bye.